So I recently got stopped by two people on the street and they wanted to interview people about freedom. And as you know, nothing is a coincidence, nothing is happening by chance. So I had this beautiful conversation with them, and it was all about understanding what freedom actually means, how we define it for ourselves personally. And of course, after that interview, it got me thinking even further about freedom and what it means to me. So I wanted to have this conversation with you as well. I wanted to have a conversation about what it actually means to be free based on my experience. And I would also love to have a conversation in the comments about this. I would love to hear your thoughts on this as well. So when that person asked me if I was free, I said yes. And then when she asked me to elaborate, I said, I am free because I have freedom from my mind. So for most of my life, I listened to the negative voice in my head. My life was completely controlled by whatever my mind was telling me. My actions and behaviors were dictated by my mind. My mind told me I'm not good enough, not worthy, not lovable, and I listened to it. So I was never really free because I was basically a prisoner in my own mind. My mind was running the show for me 24/7, and it does exactly the same for everybody living on this planet, unless you have this awareness that your mind is running the show and you are in fact not your mind. And it's simple examples we see in everyday life. When you are in a relationship that is not good for you, and you know it's not good for you, you know it's not making you happy, who is actually making you stay in it? A lot of people say, oh, it's love, it's because I'm so in love, but that is actually not true. Your mind is making you stay in it. It's not your heart. Your heart, your consciousness would never make you stay in a situation that is not good for you. It is the mind making you stay in situations that are not good for you. Because it's the mind telling you, no, you can't leave that person because you will never find somebody else. You're not good enough. You're not lovable. Remember, you have to stay in that relationship. That is what the mind is telling you. It's making you stay out of fear of not being good enough, out of fear of being lonely, because the mind is literally telling you it's better to be in a relationship that doesn't make you happy than to be lonely. Or a different example, let's say you currently want to save up some money because you want to go on holiday or you want to buy a house or whatever it is. So you consciously, you know you want to save money, but then you go on TikTok or on Instagram and you see an influencer promoting this product, like a sweatshirt or whatever it is. And then you're like, oh my gosh, I need this. But then you have to ask yourself, who needs this? Like, who's actually telling you need this? Because you consciously, you're saying, I want to save money. I don't want to spend money on stuff I don't need. But then the mind is telling you, I need this. And then who's winning? Who's actually winning? Like, who has control over your life? It is the mind. Because the mind will get you to buy it, even though you wanted to save money. And this is where we have to really ask ourselves, like, who is actually in control over us? Who has control over us? And it is the mind. And we can't allow that to continue to happen. Because if we do, we will never be free. And then we also have to consider that most of our programs are actually programmed by other people. They're not even our own programs. Whatever our mind is programmed to believe is what we have heard other people say, what we see on social media. It's what we are getting bombarded with on a daily basis, what our parents told us, teachers, this society we live in. It's not even our own programs. Our minds, they're literally little robots, and however they are being programmed, that is going to be our life experience. That is going to be our subconscious mind. That is how we are going to experience this world, how we live, think, and feel every single day. But we are smart robots, actually, because we have the ability to question. We have the ability to reflect. We have the ability to observe our thoughts. And if I am the observer of my thoughts, of my mind, then who is actually the one thinking the thoughts? You know what I mean? If I am observing my mind telling me I'm not good enough, then who actually told me I'm not good enough? It doesn't make any sense because I'm not consciously thinking it. Our subconscious mind is simply programmed a certain way, and however it's programmed, for most of us, it's in a really negative way. That is the state of the world we live in, and that is also going to be the life experience we're going to have. However your mind is programmed, that is going to be your experience. And we might all have different programs, but it still works exactly the same for everybody. And I just feel like we have been given this gift to reflect, to self-reflect, to observe our thoughts, to question everything. So why are we not doing it? Why are we not questioning ourselves? When will we start to question our own mind, our own thoughts? Because that is how we will get freedom, true freedom. It is the mind creating reality for us. So why are we not taking control over programming our minds to be positive, to be our cheerleader? Why are we always jumping to the negative conclusion every single time? Why are we programmed to think so negatively about ourselves and others? Why are we programmed to be so judgmental? Why are we always programmed to make decisions that are not good for us? It doesn't make any sense whatsoever, especially when we are aware of what we are doing. So yeah, every single day we have a choice. We can actually choose what we are listening to. We have a choice whether we want to listen to negative news every single day or not. We have a choice who we listen to on social media every single day. We just have to realize that our core beliefs are dictating how we live our lives on a daily basis. So whatever core beliefs you have, that is how you live your life. When you have a core belief, it's better to be in a toxic relationships than to be lonely, you will always be in toxic relationships. Rather than being by yourself, working on yourself, loving yourself, raising your vibrations. When you believe you need to stay in toxic work environments because the money is more important than your mental health, your well-being, that is going to be the life experience you are creating. When you have a core belief that you're not good enough, that is going to be the life experience you are creating. So in a way, we are not free. And there's also no free will either, because when you are making choices based on however you are being programmed, that is not free will. So you could say it's not your free will to stay in a relationship that is not good for you, because you can only function based on how you are being programmed. You can only function based on your core beliefs, unless you recognize that is your core belief. Until you kind of change your perspective and you understand what is going on here. Otherwise, you are simply a slave to the mind, however the mind is programmed. Hardly anybody understands this. Hardly anybody has this awareness that they are not the mind. And they are simply listening to whatever the mind is telling them. So in order to change, in order to find true freedom, we need to find freedom from the mind. It is the only way. And I think that's all I have for you today. These are all my thoughts I have on this topic. I really hope you found this video helpful and inspiring. And yeah, again, I would love to hear your thoughts on this topic as well, your experiences, because I think it's so important for us to understand that we did not come here onto this planet to suffer. We came here to make a positive change in this world. But it starts by us making a positive change in ourselves first. I'm sending all of you so much love, and I will talk to you in my next video.